Good morning from the parking lot of Disney's Hollywood Studios. We were headed in today because Hollywood Studios is just packed with history and fun facts and little tidbits and hidden things. So I kind of wanted to go in and go over a few with you guys. Not to mention, it's a Disney theme park, so it's fun to visit. So we'll go inside, go over some fun facts and some little hidden things about Hollywood Studios, and then enjoy the day at Hollywood Studios. So let's go in. So the first thing we should mention about Disney's Hollywood Studios is that it wasn't originally called Disney's Hollywood Studios. It was originally called Disney's MGM Studios, and that was because they entered into a licensing agreement with MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, which is another film production company. As this was originally, Disney's Hollywood Studios was a full production studio. They did television shows here, they did animated feature films here, and all kinds of other stuff. So originally, this was not only a theme park, but also a studio. And so the name Disney's Hollywood Studios kind of pays a little bit of tribute to that. It is studios at the end, and then Hollywood in the middle is because the theme of Disney's Hollywood Studios is an idealized version of Hollywood. And this idealized version of Hollywood is very well portrayed here when you first come in. You know, the billboard even says right here, dream homes in dreamland. And a lot of the buildings and landmarks that are located inside Hollywood Studios are based off of other landmarks around Los Angeles or around Hollywood. Take for instance, Crossroads of the World is based off of a location on Sunset Boulevard that was an open air market. This park opened as MGM Studios on May 1st, 1989, and it stayed as MGM Studios until 2008 when it switched over to Disney's Hollywood Studios. There is still one spot in the park that is labeled MGM. It's right up here. As a side note to that, there is a construction wall around the outside of Keystone Clothiers. This kind of doorway right here was broken and fell apart a long time ago. And it had just been kind of sitting there as plywood for a long time. And it looks like they're starting to make some progress on it. And so as we make our way deeper into the park, before we get to the Chinese theater, you'll notice this statue over here for director. And right next to that statue is the dedication plaque for Disney MGM Studios. Right there, the world you have entered was created by the Walt Disney Company and is dedicated to Hollywood. Not a place on the map, but a state of mind that exists wherever people dream and wonder and imagine. A place where illusion and reality are fused by technological magic. We welcome you to a Hollywood that never was and always will be. May 1st, 1989, Michael D. Eisner. That's a great quote. Who wrote that quote? I'd like to know. This is a really good one. Here's an interesting fact that you might overlook when you're here. You might not even notice it. But as we're heading into the courtyard here, this wide open area in front of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, you'll notice the concrete is red here, kind of darker colored gray over there, and then another darker colored gray over there. So those two darker colored spots are Mickey's eyeballs in what used to be the world's largest hidden Mickey. It has since kind of gone away. There are some pieces and parts left to it. If you're looking at it from an aerial view, you can still see the eyes here. Echo Lake over there is an ear, but then there used to be an ear over here that's kind of changed a little bit with the landscape of Disney's Hollywood Studios. So you can still sort of make it out a little bit on a map. If we put it up here, like an aerial view of it right here, you can still sort of make out a Mickey head, but not as clear as it once was. So as we walk towards Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, this is another one of the iconic buildings that you can find as a real life building in Hollywood. In this case, it is what is now the TCL Chinese Theater. It used to be the Grauman's Chinese Theater, but it is now the TCL Chinese Theater. And it is located on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So because the real Chinese theater is located on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Disney decided to do their own version of the Walk of Fame with the handprints and signatures of famous people. Angela Lansbury, for example. Samuel L. Jackson, right there. Some of them are real people, but then other ones are like, this is the Rocketeer, and I like that they did that here. There's footprints, and then from the jetpack, the blast marks from the jetpack right behind it. There are some really interesting ones. Goofy says, "Gosh, I'm stuck," signed Goofy, right next to Ray Liotta. Tony Curtis up there drew like a whole landscape, right next to Gina Davis, with little teeny tiny footprints for Gina Davis. The comedy is just flowing here. Steve Martin put his handprints and wrote feet right next to Roger Rabbit. And then R2-D2 and C-3PO also have their footprint handprints in here. Daryl Hannah, who was in Splash, a mermaid movie, put her feet prints in and then drew a mermaid tail around it. George Lucas in here says, "May the force be with you," right next to R2 and C-3PO. Jim Henson with a picture of Kermit the Frog and then Kermit the Frog's handprints as well. The iconic Mickey and Minnie on the opening date of May 1st, 1989. So the very first publicly viewed handprints that were put in, which is interesting, is Annette Funicello right here, May 1st, 1989. There were other ones that were done beforehand without the public, done backstage and things like that. But it's interesting that that Annette Funicello, a previous Mouseketeer, was done before Mickey and Minnie over here. And then another person who is still represented in the park right here, Pee Wee Herman, put his handprints, his footprints, and his bow tie. I like that he put a third. Oh, he kind of like walked away through it. That's fun. But Pee Wee Herman is still in the park as Rex. He's DJ Rex in Oga's Cantina right now. But he was also Rex, the pilot on Star Tours, the original pilot of Star Tours. So one of the wildest things about the handprints out here in front of the Chinese Theater is that these were done over time. They weren't done all in one day. And as a matter of fact, since opening day, every Wednesday through Sunday, a celebrity would come in here for as part of it was called a Star Today program. And they would come in and they would have a whole ceremony out in front of the Chinese Theater, put their handprints in, sign it, and then they would have a motorcade where the celebrity would go through, they would have like a parade through the park. So I just thought that was pretty wild, because if you came here for the first 6 years that the park was open, this program stopped in 1995. If you were here for the first 6 years that they were open, if you were here Wednesday through Sunday, you could have seen a celebrity just driving down, doing their handprints. And like I said, it seems kind of strange because there's not that many handprints out here. That's because they didn't put them all out here. There's a whole bunch stored backstage, which is amazing. I wish they would, I don't even know if that's possible, if they could switch them out or not, but they should come up with a system to at least display them, like one a day. Put a new one out. It seems like a lot of work. Maybe they might break it or something like that. But it would be neat to be able to see them and be like, oh, look, there's, I don't know, somebody that's not out here. Like take, for instance, the entirety of NSYNC did their handprints, but they're not out here. They're somewhere backstage. Also, over at the Brown Derby is a book that celebrities can sign, and they have multiples of those books. So like we signed it one time because some of the people were talking to us in the lobby, and one of the hostesses was like, oh, you guys should sign this book. And we're like, oh, we're nobody to sign this book. But she's like, no, they knew who you were, so you guys should sign it. I'm gonna sign the book in the Brown Derby. This is intense.
Familiar handwriting is so
I know.
Oh my goodness. I'm embarrassed for your handwriting.
Your little one's named down there too.
Yeah, Jackson. Aww. Wow.
All right, you want to add your name and Jackson's name?
Yeah.
This is awesome, thank you.
Well, thank you. Adding to our Brown Derby book of famous people.
No, not famous.
Well, you're famous too. You people around here. It's quite a
Thank you so much. That was amazing.
And we went back and we're like, hey, can we see this page? And they're like, oh, there's like a whole bunch of books. We'd have to know exactly which book it was for us to open up the page to where you guys signed it. So we don't know where our signature is in a book somewhere at the Brown Derby. Also found Donald Duck over here. Sally Struthers, Chevy Chase, Louis Gossett Jr. There's a lot of interesting ones. What do you think is the most interesting one here? Billy Joel and Christy Brinkley together in 1990. Jim Varney. I like that that one's out here. Jim Varney, of course, being the original voice of Slinky Dog, he has since passed away and they had to find somebody else to do the voice of Slinky Dog for the movies that are out now and for Slinky Dog Dash. That is not Jim Varney, but they are impersonating Jim Varney. I think that they should definitely try to save some of these. Like this one, I can't even read it anymore. It is so deteriorated. I feel like they used a different concrete for that one. Same with this one. We do got Mark Hamill up here. I like that Leonard Nimoy gave his little Spock sign. It says live long and prosper. So like I said, Annette Funicello was the first person to publicly put their hands in concrete here. But if you look, this one says happy birthday Mickey from Cindy Williams in 1988. So for Mickey's 60th birthday, they were doing Mickey's Birthday Land at Magic Kingdom. So they did a handprint ceremony for Mickey's Birthday Land, which was a year-long celebration for Mickey's 60th birthday at Magic Kingdom. And at that, they asked celebrities to put some handprints in concrete, knowing that they could put them in here at Disney's Hollywood Studios as it was under construction at the time. So although the Star Today program stopped in 1995, you will see some more recent ones. Take, for instance, this Michael J. Fox one from 1999. This is actually the most recent one that you can find here is Michael J. Fox from 1999. They have done some more and more recent ones than Michael J. Fox, but they're not publicly on display. They're all backstage somewhere. Another more recent one, LeVar Burton here from 1999. A little TheTimTracker tie-in right here. This is Jenny Lewis. She signed this in 1996. In 1989, she was in a movie called Troop Beverly Hills. Since quitting her acting career, she went into music. She was in a band called Rilo Kiley, but also she had her own solo career. And when we went to go see Harry Styles for the Love on Tour tour, she opened for him. Jenny Lewis opened for Harry Styles when we saw him in Orlando. And there's her signature on the ground in front of the Chinese Theater at Disney's Hollywood Studios from 1996. So notable, like we've said, a lot of things are based off of actual landmarks in Hollywood. Then we come to this. The Hollywood Studios arches, they kind of are just, it feels like an entrance to another thing inside of the theme park, and that's because it was meant to represent that. This was the theme park out here, and then once you went through these arches, you were in the studio. So once you made it through these arches, you entered into the production area of the park. And this is also where you would enter into the backlot tour, which was here where Launch Bay is now. But the rest of this was a real working studio, and some big, like some of your favorite titles were animated here fully at MGM Studios. So take, for instance, Lilo and Stitch, Mulan, Brother Bear. Those were all fully animated here in the animation department at what was MGM Studios. Other than the dedication plaque, one of the few remaining remnants of MGM Studios and the original signage is this for the studio store just outside of Launch Bay. And this store has been closed. It's usually open for like special events like Jollywood Nights. They had it open. But for the most part, this store is closed. And this is some original signage right here. And this style of signage is an example of what all of MGM Studios used to look like. All the signs look like this. The signs on the stages, on the studio tour, on the backlot, everything. The rides, everything was this. Even the trams for the backlot tour were like this. Keeping in line with the celebrity aspect and the studio aspect, we showed off some of the signatures in front of the Chinese Theater, but if we head back over and down Hollywood Boulevard, we can find some more signatures that you might not know about. And then after we make our way down Hollywood Boulevard, we turn down Sunset Boulevard and head towards the Tower of Terror. Another notable building down here is this representation of Carthay Circle, which is a historic theater, or was a historic theater in Hollywood, which is where they premiered the very first full-length animated feature that Walt Disney Studios made, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So back here, before we get to Tower of Terror, is the Theater of the Stars. Aside from in front of the Chinese Theater, here at Theater of the Stars, there are also some handprints that you can see. So as you're heading into Theater of the Stars, this is where you'll see it. George Wendt, signed right here. Fess Parker, right there. Ben Vereen. These are some names that I feel like are not as well known as the ones in front of the, I mean, these are, people know who Ben Vereen is and stuff like that, but like the younger crowd that's coming to Hollywood Studios might not. Oh, Alex Trebek, there you go. Who is Alex Trebek? See, I saw a picture of Lou Ferrigno inside of Mama Melrose. There it is. That's, I don't know if I showed you guys the picture of Lou Ferrigno, but I saw him on the walls of Mama Melrose, and here is his signature. Oh, Howie Mandel back here as well. He's got two right hands. I also saw a picture of Bob Denver on the, oh wait, the picture that I saw of Bob Denver was just his like headshot. Florence Henderson here too. There's some good names out here. Woody Harrelson. Yeah, some big names that are hidden back here. I don't know who Martin Mull is, but this is a cool signature. So there aren't a lot of handprints and signatures out here by Theater of the Stars, but there are a few. And it's interesting to see because a lot of people would just walk right over these and not even notice that they're here. Like you could see Alex Trebek's signature and handprints on your way in to see Beauty and the Beast. Also, there's a lot more space here that they could put more of them. They have more. They should put them on display. So another interesting thing that about this part of the park is that this was an expansion. This didn't open with the park. Sunset Boulevard didn't open in May of '89. It opened in July of 1994, which I think is an interesting little note, is that this says 694. I was thinking that it would have been June of '94 that it opened, but no. It was July of 94 that Sunset Boulevard opened at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So why do you think this says 694? So this little red car trolley is sort of a replica of the one that they have at DC, or had at DCA. It closed in February, but the number on the trolley car in DCA was 623, June of 1923, which was when Walt moved to Hollywood. So now we're gonna head back towards Muppets Courtyard, because there is still a little part of the old backlot, a facade from the old backlot that you can see from the second story of Pizza Rizzo. We're gonna go see if we can see it. As we get back to Sunset Boulevard and Hollywood Boulevard, you can see the wire that the trolley would attach to right here. And there's a ticket central here, which is just an information booth. And then the line stops right here at a sign or a poster that says, "Visit beautiful Hollywood, home of the silver screen stars. Ride all day for $1. Coupon for one child, 30 cents, two children, 55 cents. Pacific Electric, comfort, speed, and safety." And this is what the red trolley looked like. So as we were talking about earlier, the hidden Mickey that you can see from the top, this is his only ear remaining. Is Echo Lake makes up his ear. And you see there's a dinosaur over there. This is a dinosaur based off of a 1914 film called Gertie the Dinosaur. There's actually a plaque over near it that we can read all about it. So there's Gertie. She used to have like seaweed coming out of her mouth, and it is an ice cream store. Is it open right now? Oh yeah, looks like it is open. But this it is. Dinosaurs Gertie's Ice Cream of Extinction was built as a tribute to Gertie the Dinosaur, one of the first well-known animated cartoon stars. Gertie first amazed vaudeville audiences in 1914 when she was projected life-size onto a screen and stared the stage with her creator, Windsor McKay. It also says that the themed style of the building is known as California Crazy Architecture, and it became popular in the 1930s and was designed to attract attention to potential customers in a big way. So they would build buildings that look like something else. In this case, a big dinosaur. Same idea right across the way of Bill and Min's Dockside Diner with the SS down the hatch. This is a building that is built to look like a giant boat. So you could also call this California Crazy. But at the same time, where do you draw the line? Because this is also a theme park. So at a theme park, you would have a building shaped like a dinosaur, right? So what makes her California Crazy and not just themed entertainment? Something to think about. And of course, they do sell ice cream here. Get a Mickey Premium Bar, ice cream sandwich, a waffle cone, or ice cream in a cup. Also, if you're here during Jollywood Nights, in the holiday season, they put a little Santa hat on top of her. And at Jollywood Nights, you can get a sugar cookie shaped like Gertie the Dinosaur. And if you pay close attention, you'll see her footprints in the concrete where she walked over to her spot to where she sells ice cream out of her tummy. One of the rides that opened a little bit later in the year of 1989 was Star Tours, and that opened in December of 1989. And this was before they were doing real immersive stuff like Galaxy's Edge. This was put in here to showcase the scale of a Hollywood picture or a Hollywood film. Because if you look, this whole entranceway is meant to look like an Ewok village, but not a full Ewok village. A Hollywood representation of an Ewok village. You can see back here, the AT-AT is hollow on the backside, as are most of these posts. Ooh, they're moving. And so this is, instead of being an immersive environment as if you were in Star Wars, this is an environment that showcases what it was like to film Star Wars. So we've made our way a little bit further into Hollywood Studios, and we're heading towards Galaxy's Edge, but we are not going to go into Galaxy's Edge. We're gonna make a left into Muppets Courtyard. So the area out in front of Muppets Courtyard used to be Streets of America, and we can still see some of the facades from Streets of America here, but they have since taken the rest of it out and turned it into Galaxy's Edge. But if we look kind of up and over the trees, and it was easier to see before the trees grew in, but kind of just past that archway through the trees, you can make out some detail of a facade of a city like New York City or like a brownstone facade. And this you can see is just a facade. There's not an actual arched roof to the stage, but they wanted it to look like a real Hollywood studio. And while I was here at Pizza Rizzo, I had to pay my respects and get pizza and a Caesar salad. I got a pepperoni pizza. It's looking kind of sad. There's like only pepperoni on one side, but it's from Pizza Rizzo, and I'll be sad when it's gone. All right, let's give this pizza a try. I got a slice without any pepperoni on it. It's perfect. It's a great pizza. Reminds me of Rats. Yeah, it's nice. It's a good pizza. I mean, it's not a bad pizza. It's not a great pizza, but it does the job. Gives you the flavor of pizza when you want the flavor of pizza. From Pizza Rizzo, we head over to Mama Melrose because we talked about the Stars Today program. Inside of Mama Melrose, lining the walls, are photos from the Stars Today program. So you can see, it would be interesting to find some of the signatures that we saw. Like, take for instance, we did see Mark Hamill and George Lucas and C-3PO, and there's no R2-D2 in this photo. Here's a really old picture of Neil Patrick Harris being interviewed for a radio show, it looks like. Also, some of these photos out in the lobby are really interesting. I wonder if these are all people that sign their names, because we're starting to get to newer people over here with Dove Cameron and Cameron Boyce right there. Like, those are the stars from Descendants. I did see Louis Gossett Jr.'s signature out in front of the Chinese theater. We did it, guys. There's Ryan Seacrest. I was kind of surprised that we didn't see, or I guess they were older photos, so it was hard to make out who was who, but I was surprised we didn't see like the people that are like Michael J. Fox. We didn't see a Michael J. Fox photo in there. I thought we for sure we would see like the people that have their handprints out in front of Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. I don't know. It's just still a fun little fact about Disney's Hollywood Studios. Well, this is exciting. Vi Morardi heading into Kylo Ren's ship. She's planning something. Some resistance is afoot. It looks like she's took something from Kylo Ren's ship. That's exciting. Don't tell anybody that it happened. Oh, look, very natural. Like nothing had happened. Nobody saw anything. Some random noises coming out of Kylo Ren's ship. She hands it off. Uh-oh. Sounds like a ship coming over. Oh no! It was the stormtroopers. She's like, just play it natural. Play it cool. Don't tell anybody that I'm here. What are they doing? They got headaches right now. Migraines, maybe? Oh no.
Old? Well, look who's visiting Black Spire Outpost. Vi Morardi, your reputation precedes you. Good disguises. If you're her team, then you'll know the codename of this mission. What is it? Doesn't sound like you know. I should call this in.
Close, it was close. They almost got her, but she got away. So before we end the video, I wanted to show one thing that's an update rather than a historic or like a fun fact about it. So we're headed into Toy Story Land to head over near Woody's Lunchbox. So here inside of Woody's Lunchbox seating area, you can see they've started to add in a covering over here, and they've just finished putting the waterproofing membrane for the roof on it. So still got a little bit of work to do, but coming soon, some shade outside of Woody's Lunchbox. And so when this is done, it will replicate this Connects setup right here. And there will actually be 3 of them. You can see one right there that's still being constructed. This one has been here all along, and they're adding in 2 more next to it. So before we call it a day, I wanted to stop by the Majestic because last time I was here, I saw something interesting. Let's go and see if it's still there. It is not. Right here, they had all Haunted Mansion merch, which I thought was very strange. Now it's this purple stuff, which I have not seen before. Look at this Spirit jersey. This is cool. I like that. Iridescent purple on the top. And this purple Starbucks mug too, or Starbucks cup, tumbler. And then like a purple champagne flute. And then this like quarter zip. This is like a deep blue. These are nice. What's on the other side? Oh, this is a whole purple line. Ooh, okay. And then this shirt too. This is cool. I've never seen any of this stuff before. And then a snow globe. You got to be careful about snow globes because you can't put it in your carry-on luggage because it has water. It's a liquid. It'll make you dump it out. Came in to have a look at the pins before leaving, and I saw some really neat ones like this skateboard pin. It's like an actual skateboard. The wheels move and everything. There's a Kingdom Hearts pin down here. A couple of Kingdom Hearts pins. Oh, the Quacketeer Club pin. Some Goofy movie pins here too. Powerline. The Perfect Cast. Little babies. That's fun. Oh, this one's like they're in a cornucopia. I have a lot of Hollywood Tower of Terror pins. Stitch. Tip Top Club. This Dopey pin is absolutely terrifying. After learning that we that Lilo and Stitch was animated here on property. I'm kind of surprised there's not more Stitch stuff at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Shout out to one random Big Hero 6 pin. This is pretty wild. These are like super fancy pin lanyards. You see how they have holes in them for you to put the pins through without actually puncturing them. Wow, that's intense. Experiment 626. Oh, okay, so you buy this and you put it on your Disney Pins bag. So they have a couple of Disney Pins bags here, and they show different ways of wearing them or combining them. So $20 for the lanyard, $24 for the little, like, basically phone case pin bag, and then $30 for the Mickey shaped one, and $25 for this one that's just a circle. Well, they also have a Pixar ball one too. It's kind of a neat idea. Like, I'm surprised more people aren't doing this that are pin traders, because you get like a customized strap for it, custom bag, you show off all your pins, and they're readily available to trade. They also have this pin vault, I guess you would call it, where you can put your pins on each of these little flaps, and then they're ready for you to trade. I wonder if this is a pin trading bag too. I'm gonna open it up and look. Oh, it is, and it folds open like a folio. Like, this will unfold. Wow. And they got little separators to protect your pins and everything. This is a $50 bag specifically for pin trading. So earlier in the video, we showed off Gertie, Dinosaur Gertie's Ice Cream of Extinction. They have a mug specifically for it for $17. It's the same on both sides. They also have a tumbler that has her footprints around the outside, and then Dinosaur Gertie's Ice Cream of Extinction on this side. So it's $25. Also an anxiety mug. Just says, oh no. All right, Bo, that was it. We came to Hollywood Studios, and we got a lot of like really fun information, fun historical facts, fun little hidden details at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and we got a few little updates here and there too. So it was a fantastic day. I'm glad that you were here with me. Also, we got to eat a pizza rizzo, and it was delicious. Love pizza rizzo, I'm gonna miss it. So, Bo, thank you for hanging out. And all in all, it was a fantastic day. With that being said, we are off. We'll see y'all tomorrow, and now it's time to pay the price.